Hey guys, that's right, I did it. Alright, so if you watched my last video on how I prepare for my race, it was the third race into the Pikes Peak Fall Series, and I was holding 10th place overall. You do get an award for 10th place overall, but if you go back and watch that, I had mentioned that guys were 11th, 12th, and 13th place were only like seconds behind me. It's a total accumulation of all four races, and even after two races, there were only seconds separating me and 11th, 12th, 13th. I was only about 30 seconds behind the 9th place guys. Third race went pretty well. I set my 10th place a little bit stronger, but again, going into the fourth, we were only a couple of seconds away from each other. It snowed that day. It was right across the street, Palmer Park. That's where I run mostly, so I was pretty confident that I would maintain 10th, if not maybe pick up 9th place. But let me go ahead and put this back on the shelf. So I was pretty confident that I had a good chance to maintain 10th, maybe even jump into 9th, depending on how I was feeling, how my body reacted that day. But I was in pretty decent shape. I felt I was in good shape, but those top 10 guys, top 9 guys, really strong. And you just never know who's going to have a good day and a bad day. The thing that was interesting, it snowed the night before. Palmer Park is pretty shaded. It can ice up, slick up. It'd been pretty cold here in Colorado Springs over the last couple of weeks, and I was smart. I brought yak tracks. I threw them on. I started to do my warm-up. I parked kind of far away on purpose so that I'm forced to do a mile or two warm-up. In this case, it was about a 2-mile warm-up. I took off initially without the yak tracks on, and within 10 seconds. I turned around and said, nope, let me go put those on. I put them on. I do my warm-up. It's pretty slick. It's cold. I was wearing a full face mask and long sleeve shirt, long pants. After the warm-up, I stood at the starting line and I'm looking down at everybody. I'm up in the front 2 lines to start, and I'm one of only a few that they could have screw shoes in too, screws in their shoes. But from the looks of things, I was one of the few that had yak tracks on. Within the first mile, I knew I was one of the few that had yak tracks on. I'm shocked. I'm in 5th place. What the heck? I passed the number 1 guy in the series, and I look down and he's got his Nike Zooms on with nothing. And I just kind of had to, whoa, what are you doing? I passed him on anything technical where I was just gripping. They were slipping and sliding. They were taking 1 step forward, half a step back. And I would just plowed up the hill. And some of my direct rivals that I know, I only saw them in the first mile. After that, I never saw them again. And then I'm up there in 5th, 6th, 7th place. We're kind of leapfrogging. Anything flat, they've got the speed. They pass me. Anything up a hill, technical, I pass them. Not to mention, I know that park very well. So even with snow covered, I knew where to step in certain places to avoid ruts, rocks, and that sort of thing. The demise. I ended up coming in 24th place, I think, something like that, in the 20s. I was following the first place guy overall in the series, and when it's snowing out and the snow's whipping in your eyes, I'm just looking at his feet and I'm seeing where he steps, and if he rolls an ankle, I don't step there, that sort of thing. So we come up to a T section and I'm not looking for flags. I'm following him. We go the wrong way. We weren't the only ones to do this. A lot of people did that, but we would have been 5th and 6th overall. We ended up being 24th, 25th, something like that. If I would have maintained my position, I think I could have pulled off 7th overall in this series. Regardless of that, who coulda, woulda, shoulda. No thanks. my mistake. I followed the guy in front of me. I wasn't paying attention. That is part of racing. That is my mistake. Lesson learned, and I will do better next time. But I was just very happy that I maintained 10th place. The guys that were on my heels, they didn't go the wrong way, but they just didn't wear the traction, I'm guessing, and were 2-3 minutes even with my mistake. I blasted that. I was very proud of myself, and that was a good race for me, even with the wrong turn and the extra half mile. I'm jazzed, man. I don't know what to say, but this is last year's trophy. This is the difference. First place age group, Pikes Peak Fall Series. This little guy. It's got all my times down there. There you go. There's the 10th. I don't know if first is the same size as this or what, but there's the difference. And man, I worked my butt off for this thing. I'm proud of it. And next year, with no mistakes, I hope to get up into the 5th, 4th, 7th, or 8th. We'll see how it goes. Yep, that's it.